Greetings and salutations, and I'm back with the finishing of the Across the Timeways um, cards that have been revealed, which they're all finished now on the reveal. I believe the last one was on the 20th, so that was the last set. After that, I will be doing a tier list in the same video of just the legendaries. But we have not seen all the Warlock cards, so we're going to take a look at those. We're going to take a look at the Warrior ones, and I think there's a couple others we didn't see, but we're going to take a look at ones. Bygone Doomspeaker. Rewind Battlecry. Both players discard a random card. 3 mana, 3/3. It's not bad, and I'll tell you why. It's the stats are vanilla. 3 mana, 3/3. Fine and dandy. Whatever. Who cares? 6 of one, half dozen of the other. It doesn't really matter if you play it on 3 or not. This is one of those things where if you know your opponent's holding a really good card that they want, or if you know your opponent is down to like 3 cards and you want to have a 1 in 3 chance to hit the card to get rid of it, great card to play. You can always rewind it to play a different card. It's also great if your hand is empty. If you have an empty hand, let's say you're down to the last 2 cards in your hand, and it's Bygone Doomspeaker and Ancient of Yore. You drop your Ancient of Yore, 5/5, it's dormant, you're going to gain 5 armor, draw a card at the end of turn, you battle cry this guy, and then both players discard a random card. If you don't hit the card you want, you rewind, and then you play your Ancient of Yore again, and you play your Doomspeaker. It's a decent card. It's very situational. I can see it getting some play. It might land in like a little niche deck, kind of like Gnome Feratu. People didn't really care for Gnome Feratu. But then there was this massive Disguised Toast made a deck, and he named it Toilet Drake, and it was about using Gnome Feratu and Demonology Project or something like that, and he was basically burning decks using Gnome Feratu, burning combo pieces. This has the same look and feel to it, that you can burn combo pieces, except this is going to be on turn 3 instead of 2. Ruinous Velocidrake. Ruinous Velocidrake. 5 mana, 5/5 rush. Battlecry, cast a Shred of Time from your deck to summon a copy of this. Cast when drawn, deal 3 damage to your hero. Okay. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but we'll get there. So you cast a Shred of Time from your deck. So unless you're adding Shred of Time to your deck, this is just a 5/5 rush for 5. It's a solid card. I mean, it's vanilla stats. You get rush for 5. It's not bad. But if you're not running the Shred of Time, then you don't have to worry about it. Now, I guarantee you there's going to be some sort of Shred of Time synergy somewhere down the line. Maybe the self-damaging Warlock will make a comeback, because you have Fellstone that's... Is Fellstone going to come out of rotation? Let me take a look here. Healthstone. Healthstone. Great Dark Beyond. So yeah, Healthstone is going to rotate. So the Shred of Time is going to need a... Shred of Time is going to be weird. It's going to be a very weird card. So we're going to go back down to Warlock here. Casts when drawn. So unless you're adding them to your deck, it's not going to matter. This is just a 5 mana 5/5. Okay. It's alright. Like I said, it's very vanilla stats. Fatebreaker, Lifesteal. Battlecry, cast a Shred of Time from your deck to gain 3/3. Now that's not bad. That makes it a 4 mana 7/7. That's actually 4 mana 7/7 Lifesteal. So now you're not only getting good stats, but you also have the ability to actually trade in, get some life back, because your Shred of Time is going to take life off of you. Maybe they might rotate Molten Giant back in, and then you might have that self-damage Warlock idea. So you damage yourself down, you Molten Giant, and then you play. So you could have maybe big Warlocks making a comeback. Hard telling. Not a bad idea. Might work. This card I think is really good. Just for the fact that, yeah, you take 3 damage from it, but 4 mana 7/7 with lifesteal, pretty solid. You could probably weave it into a deck just for like that mid-game punch to add tempo, maybe, to bait out some removal, some specific removal would work. Decent card. Tachyon Barrage. Don't ask me how I know how to say that, because of Uma Musume, Agnes Tachyon. Tachyon Barrage. Deal 6 damage split among all enemies. Shuffle 2 Shreds of Time into your deck. So 6 damage among all enemies for 2. Shuffle 2 Shreds into your deck. So you're taking 6 eventually. Now the funny part is the Shred of Time. Shred of Time, you can, because it's damage, your Ancient of Yore the armor that you gain from Ancient of Yore could eat that damage. So there's ways around it, especially with if you were to use, what's her name? Elise. You use Elise, you can get the armor from the location, so you can get armor that way too. So, I mean, it's not a bad card for 2. This might be one of those things where you're getting down to near fatigue or something like that, and you hit it. If there's nothing on the board, or early on you hit it and there's nothing on the board, you can get 6 damage on them. It's not bad. Or it could help you clear a board of a bunch of 1/1s. Maybe it's going to be used somewhat to counter Murloc Paladin. Maybe. It's not a bad card, but it's got situational usage. Entropic Continuity. Give your minions 1/1, shuffle 2 Shreds of Time into your deck. I don't really like that card. And the reason I don't like that card is because you're shuffling 2 Shreds, so you'll take 6 damage. Your minions get 1/1 for 1. So this is not like... This is kind of like the antithesis of Zoo Warlock. Zoo Warlock back in the day was on 2 you played... what was his name? Anyway, you play him on 2, and he gives he's Battle Cry. If you had no copies in your deck or something like that, you give all your minions +1/+1, or +2/+2, or something like that. It was an aggro Warlock. It was Zoo Warlock. Big time vintage Hearthstone. Yes, a vintage Hearthstone deck. This gives you the look and feel of vintage Hearthstone deck of Zoo Warlock, but at the same time, if you run 2 of these and you play 2 of these, you're risking taking 12 damage. Can you risk taking 12 damage? Maybe if you're running this oh wait, never mind, it's casting. I thought it was destroying. So maybe it's not even worth running this card. I don't care for this card much. There's got to be some synergy with it coming later, because this right here, it looks like poo. Rafaam Ladder. Draw 3 cards of different costs. It's not bad. For 4 mana, draw 3, and they're all different costs. So if you're running multiple card costs, like an Elise deck where you're guaranteeing yourself to have cards of 10 different costs, this is going to fetch you certain cards. May not be the cards you want, but it's going to fetch you cards, and it does allow you to fill your hand. It's a great replacement for Eat the Imp, because Eat the Imp is going to rotate out, and Eat the Imp was sacrificing a minion, but it was a 2 mana card for Eat the Imp, I believe. And this is giving you 3 cards at different costs. Now, if they still left Dorian in here, you could Dorian into this, draw 3 minions. Oof. That'd be tough. This also might help with drawing... What am I thinking of? The lower cost stuff when you're further in. So like if you're playing the quest, if you're doing Quest Warlock, this could help you draw stuff. like Blood Petal Biome. If you don't have that in your opening hand, you don't top deck it, but you have Rafaam Ladder, you can cast that. It'll help you draw the one cast, possibly. So there is that situational to it. So I think it's a good card. It's definitely got a place. May not be in every Warlock deck, but 4 mana draw 3 can't really hurt. Twilight Time Hopper. 2 mana 4/4. Shuffle 2 Shreds of Time into your deck. When drawn, deal 3 damage to your hero. So for a 2 mana 4/4. Okay, so they're kind of going for like the aggro Warlock. Now, could you run this with, say, Dark Gift? Dark Gift aggro Warlock. But you wouldn't want this to Battlecry twice. But getting this with like +2/+2 and elusive, a 2 mana 6/6. You play the it's a dragon, so it doesn't work with the shadow. With the Shadow Flame one. This would work with the 4 mana the demon. The 4 mana demon. This would work really well with the 4 mana demon. But then by then, if you're playing the 4 mana demon to get this guy, you're already too late. If you can oh wait, that's Death Rattle. Never mind, I was gonna say Avant Gardening. That's a Death Rattle card. So now, I mean, 2 mana 4/4 is not bad, but you're still shuffling 6 damage into your deck. Chronogore. Battlecry. You draw your 2 highest cost cards. Your opponent draws your 2 lowest cost cards. So, oh. I like that. Shred of Time. 0 mana. Battlecry him on 2. Let's say you wait till turn 5. Play him on 5. Play him on 6. Your opponent draws your 2 lowest cost cards. Oh. Shred of Time just got interesting. Oh, but wait. There's more. Play him on 8. Drink with me, friend. Pop him back to your hand. You still have Shreds of Time into your deck. Play him again. Your opponent draws 2. That's another 6 damage. Just saying, there's a thing there. There's a synergy there. It's not a bad card. If you're only running a couple of the Shreds of Time, you could just basically stick your friend with 6 damage. Well, not your friend, but you stick your opponent with 6 damage, and you get your 2 highest cost cards. Not bad. Kind of a good card. Time Thief Rafaam. 10 mana, 10/10, Fabled Plus. Your deck size is 40, but has 10 Rafaams. Battlecry, if you played the rest, destroy the enemy hero. Okay. Tiny Rafaam's a 1/1. It says Death Rattle, draw a Rafaam. Give your Rafaams in hand 2/2. 4 mana, Battlecry, discover a Rafaam from your deck. 5 mana, 5/5, gain 5 armor, gain control of another. If you control another Rafaam, gain 5 more. 7 mana, 7/7, taunt. Battlecry, if you're holding another Rafaam, summon a copy of this. Calamitous Rafaam, 9 mana, 9/9. Or, sorry, that was Archmage Rafaam. 6 mana, 6/6. Calamitous Rafaam. Battlecry deals 6 damage to all minions that aren't Rafaam. Giant Rafaam, 8 mana, 8/8 rush. Costs 1 less for each Rafaam you've played this game. That's kind of crazy. Murloc Rafaam should automatically die. Battlecry, because it's 3 mana, 3/3. The next Rafaam you play costs 3 less. Archmage Rafaam. Battlecry, transform all minions that aren't Rafaam into 1/1 sheep. That's crazy. And then Buffam. That's the 1 mana sheep. Now, I can already see it. You play the rest of these Rafaams almost on curve, right? You play on turn 10, you play Murloc Rafaam straight into Time Thief Rafaam, win. I'm going to build a Rafaam deck if I get him. A 40-card Rafaam deck with everything else in it's got like draw cards and sustain and other stuff like that. Decent card. I like it. Not a lot of people like it, but I like it. That was Warlock. We didn't see Warrior, because the only one that they had announced for Warrior at the time, I can't remember. Anyway, Logosh Bloodfighter. Fabled Rush Death Rattle. Summon a Bloodfighter from your hand. It gains 5/5 and attacks a random enemy. Okay. Brawl Bloodfighter. 7/7 Taunt. Death Rattle. Summon a Bloodfighter from your hand. Give it 5/5 and Taunt. Valera Bloodfighter. 7/7 Elusive. Death Rattle. Summon a Bloodfighter from your hand. Give it 5/5 and Elusive. Okay, so let's think about this here. I was watching Rarin the other day, and I saw him talking about Logosh. And I wasn't paying much attention to what else he was doing, but I was watching him talk about this, and he said this wasn't a very good card. And I'm sitting here going, well, wait a minute. You're a warrior deck, right? What is current warrior doing? Surviving 10 or more turns. Okay, so you're surviving 10 or more turns. Fabled Rush Death Rattle. If you trade him in as a 7/7, you trade him into an enemy, he dies. You summon a Bloodfighter from your hand, which you can easily do because there's a lot of draw card in Warrior. You summon a Bloodfighter from your hand. It's now a 12/12 that punches an enemy. Could go face. And it has Rush. Or no, it attacks a random enemy. So if it's the Elusive, Valera, pulls Valera from your hand, she's a 12/12 Elusive. So you can't solo target it, and if there's no minions on board because you traded him into the last one, that's 12 damage to face. And it's a 12/12 Elusive that can't be targeted. If it pulls the Brawl, it's a 12/12 Taunt that will pull Valera if they're all in your hand. All things considered, let's say you have all three of them in your hand. You play Logosh, you rush, you lose him. He dies, you Death Rattles. It pulls up one of them out of your hand that says 5/5 and it auto attacks. That auto attacks says something, and that attacks something else. It dies, right? So the 12/12 dies, which pulls the third one from your hand, which makes it a 12/12 and has the previous stats. So if it's Valera that comes last, so Logosh pulls Brawl, Brawl pulls Valera, now you have a 12/12 Taunt Elusive Valera. It's crazy. It's honestly crazy. I think it's going to be a good card, especially after rotation. I think this is going to slot into almost every single Warrior deck. And people are going to look specifically to pick up this from their deck. They don't really, they don't care. I mean, if you're behind on board, Brawl gives you a taunt, a 7/7 taunt for 7, which isn't bad, right? Even if you screw the Death Rattle, doesn't matter. Even though, let me tell you, you could just, let's say he dies and you don't have any other blood fighters from your hand, right? You play your Endbringer Umbra. She procs Brawl, his Death Rattle, drops one of these on the board. So if it drops him on the board, he then rushes in, attacks something, dies, drops her on the board, because it's near the end of the game. Yeah, it's one of those things. Gladiatorial Combat. Summon a random minion from your deck. Summon a 5/5 Tiger with Stealth for your opponent. Okay, so if you're running just the Bloodfighter, and so if you're running just Bloodfighters, and it says from your deck, so depending on what you draw, you could technically run this in Warrior and have fun with it. You can also run this with Dracorex, so this would slot into Warrior decks too. Kind of crazy. I like it. Especially if it pulls Dracorex, because then the Tiger, he goes in, hits the Tiger, board clears. Because he's a 5/12 and then he just does 5 damage to everything. Heir of Hereafter. 2/6 taunt, Battlecry, gain 2/2 for each damaged minion. I'm sorry. Pardon? That was so shocking it even killed my camera. And yes, that's my fan you can hear now. And now it's gone. Nope, it's still there. Anyway, I'll shut the fan off. Think about this. There's got to be another card that says do 1 damage to everything on your opponent, to your opponent. Even Shell NATO. You could Shell NATO or Whirlwind if they rotate that into standard. Whirlwind into Heir of Hereafter. He gets 2/2 for each damaged minion. That's crazy. I like it. It's a big, really nice card. Precursory Strike, 2 mana, deal 3 damage if you're holding a minion that costs 5 or more. Draw a minion. Okay, that's one way to search for stuff. Good card because it's just soft removal for 2 mana. And if you are holding a minion, it's fetching a minion. So it's soft removal with minion fetch. Good card. For 2 mana, absolutely good card. 1 mana, gain 10 armor, summon 2/2/3 beasts for your opponent. In a pinch, like let's say the enemy has a full board, right? Let's say you're playing against Aggro Hunter, and he's got a full board, and you are being pressed. You could do Unleash the Crocolisks and gain 20 armor. You could do 2 of them. It's kind of nuts. So, this is decent. It's a decent card. For Glory, 5 mana, draw 2 cards. Cost 1 less for each minion your opponent controls. Okay, so you could basically Unleash the Crocolisks, curve into 4 Glory for cheap. Not bad. It's also one of those things that it punishes the enemy for having minions. Warrior has problems with card draw. This kind of solves it. So, it kind of punishes them for having minions. Pretty good card. I like it. Slow Motion. Your opponent's cards cost 1 more next turn. Why is this a warrior spell? This should not be a warrior spell. This should be a mage spell. This should be any other class spell. Priest spell. Like warriors don't need this. They don't need it. Paladins have an aura that does something very similar, and even they don't need it. Priests could use it. Hunter could even use that. Mage could use it. Warrior, not so much. They're doing just fine. Weird card. Weird card. Good. Throws off curve, but weird. 8 mana, 13/13 Rush Battlecry. Fill your opponent's board with random 1-cost minions. Oh my god. And because it's an 8 mana minion, let's see. 8 mana. There's Nebula's rotating out. So Nebula doesn't work. Delayed Product doesn't work because that's rotating too. That's specific. Those are specific minions that are 8, or specific spells that give you 8-cost minions. Except Delayed Product is delayed for 2 turns. Nebula, if you really Giga High Roll, you could get 2 of these on Nebula Shaman just before rotation. That's 26 damage without the 1/1s. This also screws over board positioning, if you think about it, right? You play him, you fill your opponent with 1/1 minions, you fill their board with 1/1 minions, and then you just pass your turn. You don't attack. And now your opponent has to attack into your stuff and do something about it. Or you play him on 8, and then on 9 you play... I go up here. And then on 9 you play Heir of Hereafter after doing a thing that does damage. So now you're going to get 2/2 for each one. Might work. Stadium Announcer, Rewind, Battlecry. Both players equip a random weapon. Give yours 1/1. A random weapon. Are there any good weapons? There's Wagglepick. There's... I was going to say the Infernal Stapler, but that's rotating. There's the Rye Cleaver, but that's rotating. There's the Death Knight Endbringer Staff. There's the Unholy Blade that the Death Knight gets. Might get Mace of Menethil. That wouldn't be bad. Not really that many weapons that I can think of. I mean, Rogue has two. They have Wagglepick. No, they have Crystal Tusk too, come to think of it. They have Crystal Tusk. So they have Crystal Tusk, Wagglepick, and then they would have, well, right now they have Water Cannon. But that's about it. So there's not all that many weapons, if you really think about it. Maybe. That's a sketchy card. Chronolord Epoch. Battlecry, destroy all minions that your opponent played last turn. 6 mana, 7/5. He's kind of like Brawl, but worse. He's a good card though. Like, if you really think about it, your opponent doesn't play like Nebula, because Nebula says summon, so that wouldn't work. But if your opponent plays some really high powered cards that you're worried about, you play him, they're gone. Okay. He's got a place, but it's gonna be really weird. Almost like a one-sided board clear. Kind of different. We've already done all the neutrals. So that was Warrior and Warlock. We've seen the Shaman. We saw the Rogue. Priest. I don't think we saw the Priest. We saw Medivh the Hallowed. But I don't think we saw the rest. Let's take a look here. Oh, we did. We did see the rest. Copy a card from your deck and one of your from your opponents. It's kind of cool. I like it. Cease to exist. Rewind, silence, and destroy an enemy minion. Ooh. Random enemy minion. Okay. Cleansing Life Spawn, Lifesteal, Battlecry, deal damage equal to the minion's health. Yeah, that one we saw. There was some of these cards we didn't. Past Conflicts. Summon a random dragon that costs 5 or more, advance to the present. Summon a dragon that costs 5 or more, and discover a dragon that costs 5 or more, and summon it. Advance to the future. Discover a dragon that costs 5 or more, and summon it. Also get a copy of it. Good card. Really good card. Crazy card. But crazy good. Medivh the Hallowed. I know we saw this, but it's like, I wonder something. Like, there's all three of them are 10 mana, okay? So you're not going to play anything cheaper than turn 10. So you have to play one of them. So you play, like, say, Karazhan the Sanctum, which then you can then play Atiesh the Great Staff for 0. Or you can play Medivh the Hallowed for 0. And then you can play Atiesh the Great Staff for 0. But then what's the point? You have to do double damage of your healing spells. Damage and healing spells. It's just weird. It's a decent card just for him for the Battlecry. 10 mana, silence everything. Silence and destroy in that order, so just you don't get any death rattles. It's alright. We saw the Paladin, which is disgusting. The Mage one, I don't think we saw. We saw a semi-stable Portal. Temporal Construct. Battlecry, deal 5 damage to an enemy minion. Draw cards equal to the excess damage. So it's a 7 mana, and if you target something with 1 health, it's basically a 7 mana draw 4. It's a 7 mana, deal 5 damage to a minion. I mean, it's not good, but it's not bad. It's kind of mid-range. If the game really slows down post-rotation, I could see where this would get slotted in, but other than that, Faceless Enigma. Battlecry, look at 2 random secrets. Pick one to cast for yourself, the other casts for your opponent. That's kind of cool. Stupid, but kind of cool. Anomalize. Summon a random 10 and 1 cost minion, scramble their stats. It's a little weird. Time Looper Toki. Battlecry, get 4 random spells from the past. When you play all 4, get another Time Looper Toki. Okay, that's kind of cool, because that's infinite spell generation. 4 mana, you get 4 spells. Yeah, the spells might suck, but you play them, then you play them again, you play Toki again, you get 4 of them. Cool. Might not work very well, but it's cool. Fabled, if you control another dragon, your arcane spells cost 2 less. 8 mana, Azure Oath Stone. Summon your dragons that died this game. And then Azure King Malygos, if you control another dragon, your arcane spells cast twice. Arcane Barrage, deal 3 damage to an enemy and 2 damage to 2 other random ones. So what if there's no other things on the board? And you Arcane Barrage face. Does one of the 2 damage to 2 other random ones, does that target face randomly? It probably won't. But I mean, you're doing 3 damage. You're 6 if you have Malygos. So, kind of would work. Algathar Instructor. Spell damage plus 2. 5 mana, 4/7. Not bad. It's not the best, but it's not bad. It's a dragon too, so that gives you the prerequisite. So it could die. So here's where I see this happening, right? You play these 2, they die, they bite the biscuit, find it Andy. You hold your arcane barrages in your hand, you hold your other arcane spells. Then you play Sindragosa, it bites the biscuit. You play King Malygos, he bites the biscuit. You save your Azure Oathstone. You play this on mind you, you're making a dragon deck, so you might as well just chuck Ysera into your deck. So now you're going over 10 mana crystals. You're up into 10, 15 range. You play Azure Oathstone on 15, right? With 15 mana crystals. It gives you 7 mana crystals left. All your arcane spells cost 2 less. All of them cast for double. You now have plus 4 spell damage, and now this does 7 damage, 14 to face. You get 2 of these, and you get 2 other arcane spells. Yeah, it's Disneyland, but at the same time, pack your bags, book a flight, because mages can last that long. They've got ways to generate enough armor to stay there. Discover 2 arcane spells from the past that cost 2 less. Generally, arcane spells are amazing. There's some really bad ones, but the fact that this is discovered 2... This also slots right in with Quest Mage. So you could just run this in Quest Mage. You don't even need to run the Arcane package. You could just run this in Quest Mage. It'll be fine. Mirror Dimension. Summon an 0/4 minion with Taunt. If you're holding a dragon, summon another. Oh. Also summons 2 4/0s. That's cute. That's crazy. Because if you're just holding a dragon, you get 2 0/4s. That's nuts. And we already know Semi-Stable Portal. Not bad for the mage. Not the best. Oh yeah, some of the stuff we didn't see. For Hunter. Untimely Death. Secret. When a friendly minion dies, the turn after being played, resummon it. It's okay. We did see the ticking time bomb. Rush Elusive, summon a copy of this. Exactly 3 damage it does. Exactly center your hand, it does 5 instead. Hero power costs 0 while your hand has 3 or less cards. We saw that. This one right here, I think, is a crazy card. And I'm going to get to it in the tier list. So we're going to do that here in a minute. We saw the Druid package. We saw Demon Hunter. Rush. Costs 4 less if a minion is dormant. That's crazy. 4 damage. Get a random demon from the past. That's crazy too. Doomsday Prepper. Your hero is immune until your next turn if it's outcast. That's nuts. Get a demon card that costs 5 or more. If your deck has no minions, your next one costs 0. Crazy. Summon 2/3 demons. If your deck has no minions, they attack the lowest health enemy. That's also crazy. Discover a minion. If your deck has no minions, reduce the cost of any in your hand by 2. So we're talking no minion Demon Hunter? Okay. I'll play Spell Demon Hunter. I'll be your Huckleberry. Give me 2 seconds. So let's see here. And we are going to tier list maker. Boom. There we go. So now we have our tier list maker. Now here's how it's going to go. S is automatically slot into a deck. A is for awesome. B is for below awesome. C is for catastrophic. And F is for failure. So, this is... Can I see the card? No? Okay. This right here is the... Won't even let me see the card. This is the Mage Dragon. There's potential for it. There's honestly some serious potential for the dragon card. Was there a way that I could see these cards? What's this? Pin images. Unpin images. Don't know. Presentation mode. What's that? Oh, cool. Presentation mode. Well, anyway, this is the Chronomage card. The Chronomage for the dragon. I think you could build an arcane deck around it. Arcane dragon deck. I'm gonna put it in the B tier for now. I think there is potential. I think after rotation it may go up to A, but right now for what we have, I think it sits at B. There is potential for it though, 100%. Broxigar, the fabled demon hunter, 12/12 with charge. 2 mana 12/12 with charge. There's a lot of hoops to jump through with Demon Hunter. Now I wonder, because he's fabled and it's at the start of your game, he just disappears. He's not in your hand, okay? And he's not in your deck because it says disappears. Can you run Broxigar in no minion Demon Hunter? That may be a thing. We'll have to take a look at that. I will say it's catastrophic for now, but if you can run it in no minion Demon Hunter, it may become below awesome or awesome, depending. But I'm going to run it here for now. Once I can confirm that if you can run it in no minion Demon Hunter, it'll probably go up to awesome, just because that can be your win con, right? You have him, you click your thing right here, this location, and you can get probably Kayn Sunfury from this location, and then Kayn Sunfury, they don't have taunt, just blow them up. Chromie, I wish I could really see these cards. They won't let me see them. Can I see the card closer? Can I zoom in? I can. There we go. Death Rattle, draw another copy of cards you played this game. So Chromie, I think... Let me zoom out a little bit. I think Chromie would end up here. Because, yeah, it's fetching you an additional copy. It's fetching you an additional copy, so it's got some power to it. But outside of that, I mean, you'd almost have to play her on 6, have her die on 7, or on your opponent's turn 6 to draw the other copies of your cards. Now, Chronogore, I'm going to make a Warlock deck around Chronogore that's going to try to pull the shreds out and have your opponent eat the shreds of time. I think this card's awesome. Because it's drawing you your top 2 highest cards, and if you have shreds of time in your deck, it's basically punishing your opponent for 6 mana. Pop it back to your hand, do it all over again. Fun. I think it's going to be awesome if you can make a deck around it, and I'm going to try to make a deck around it. So I think it's an awesome card. It's in here. It's in the transitional awesome, below awesome. In there somewhere. Chrono Lord Dios. Your battle cries, death rattles, hero power, and end of turn effects trigger twice. I think the card has potential. I think after rotation, this card will be an awesome card. I think before rotation, it ends up here. So again, it's right in that weird zone. Definitely think he's awesome, below awesome, because you're getting basically Brand Bondsbeard, Death Rattles proc twice, hero power, and end of turn effects trigger twice. This is one of those things that you're going to want to run a Ysera deck around. You play him on when you have 15 mana crystals, and then you just play a whole bunch of Battlecry stuff and or stuff that has Death Rattles, and then kill off the stuff that has Death Rattles, or you play him and lean heavy into your hero power. One or the other. Like, imbue Mage with Ysera. Play him, Imbue Mage, you're just doming people with wisps. But then that's neither here nor there. Chronolore Epoch. Destroy all minions that your opponent played last turn. I think it's right in here. Between Below Awesome and Catastrophic. It's a more expensive brawl with a body. You might see it after rotation. I don't think anybody's going to really play it heavily. I think it's got problems for sure, but because it says destroy all minions that your opponent played, not summoned. And if it's summoned, it goes up here or here, right? So if they change it, it goes to here or here. If it says summoned, it gets like easily here because that'll be how you kill Murloc Paladin. Okay? Moving on. Eternus. Now Eternus has take control of an enemy minion with this minion's health or less. There's a lot of support for it in the current Priest deck, but that's a battle cry. And I don't think it's going to work. If you can pull it off, yeah. If you can manage to get it to 6 health, yeah. But chances are you're not going to get it there. It seems like a failure of a card. Now, if this was, say, a 6 mana 4/4, you might be talking. If it's a 6 mana 4/4, it would come up to here. But because it's a 6/2, you're there. And you'd have to play the Priest card that flips health and whatnot, health and attack in your hand. And you'd have to have him in hand. Farseer Woe. 2/6 elusive. After you cast a spell, discover a nature spell from the past. I think he's catastrophic because he's a 4 mana 2/6. Stat line's okay. After you cast a spell, fine and dandy. Discover a nature spell from the past. Okay. And it's discover a nature spell, so the discover part is what made him go from catastrophic from failure. Most nature spells in the past are not good. They're just not. It's kind of poo. If it was just discover a nature spell, up here. But because it's from the past, he's catastrophic. Because you're like, how heavy are you really getting? You might get Crackle. You might get some of the other nature spells that were decent back then. But I don't think you're going to get anything to really write home about. Sadly. Grona Half-Orcan. 5/4 Fabled Battlecry. If your opponent is holding King Lane, destroy him and cut their health in half. It's an interesting card, and I think it goes up there. Solely because it runs off the perspective of you need your opponent to have King Lane. It will tell you when they have King Lane, but you can only do this ability once. So you can only cut their health in half once. Unless you have a way to finish them, it's not there. It's great for those Blood Death Knights that are running away with 70-80 health a game. You play her, cuts her health in half. You got to remember, Kil'jaeden's rotating. So with Kil'jaeden rotating, health is going to be a big thing. She's great for killing Death Knights, but not anything else. That being said, she lands kind of right there for me. Gelbin of Tomorrow, let's just... right there. You're going to want to make a deck around it. Fabled, put one of each aura into the deck, from your deck into the battlefield. Just put one of each aura in your deck. And then... whatever. He comes with 2 auras that have tradable. So you just run him in a deck, run all these auras, run a whole bunch of random minions. You could slot him into the Murloc deck for extra funsies. Why not? It's not going to hurt you. I mean, at the very least, he's awesome. But you could just slot him into any deck because it's never going to hurt you to have 5 auras running at one time. Realistically. Husk Eternal Reaper. Now, this one right here is immediately A rank. This one is almost slotted into a deck no matter what. Now, the reason I say this is this. This says, Battlecry, give your hero Death Rattle, spend up to 20 corpses to resurrect with that much health. Notice how it says spend up to. You don't need 20 corpses. This is the part that Raren misinterpreted. Just saying that right now. He misinterpreted that. He spend up to, which means you can have 11 corpses. You'll restore 11 health. This is kind of like Ice Block on a stick, except for the fact that Ice Block makes you immune. This does not. But this will save your life. So, and there's no rune requirement, as you can see. So you can slot this in a Blood DK deck, and even though you will probably go to Fatigue because you don't have Kil'jaeden, you can have this, and if it goes to Fatigue and it draws out into a Fatigue a really long time, Husk Eternal Reaper, let's say you take 7 Fatigue damage. Procs your Death Rattle. Oh, you got 20 life back. You can last another turn now. Your opponent might not. So, really good card. You're going to want to slot it in almost every single Death Knight deck, especially if you generate a whole boatload of corpses. Crazy. King Maluk. He's an awesome card. 4 mana, 5/6, Battlecry, discard your hand, get an infinite banana. You empty your hand. Okay? You play a whole bunch of cheap cards, you get Maluk, you empty your hand, you play him. Or if you have cards in your hand that you're willing to discard, you play him, discard your hand, you get an infinite banana. Infinite Banana is a 1 mana, 1/1 banana. Patchwork Pals is rotating. But the other one's not. It gives you the 4/2 charge Huffer. That's just Animal Companion. That's not rotating. There's other cards that are not rotating. And you have Neria the Crater. Neria the Crater says when you play a 1 mana spell, summon a copy or play a copy of it. Infinite Banana says when you play it, return it to your hand. So you play it. You get 2/2 instead of 1/1 for 1 mana. Neria of the Crater is a 3 mana card. You play Ysera. You have 15 mana. That's 24 worth of stats being pumped into Neri. Or whoever on the board. And if you have a minion on board that has not died, you've already played Maluk. You have the banana in your hand. You hold Neri and the banana. You have a minion on board that can swing, and it's open. You win the game. You just drop Neri and then banana. It's a crazy card. Anybody that rated this lower than A rank is just bereft of their senses. You have Aggro Hunter that would die for this card right now, because they just build a whole board full of beasts and their hand is nearly empty by turn 5. You just play Maluk, your hand is empty now, and you have an infinite banana. And then next turn you can play Monkey Business and get a whole handful of bananas. It's a great card. It needs a little nuance, but it's a great card. Krona, Keeper of Eons. Battlecry, set the cost of the bottom 5 cards of your deck to 1. Honestly, it's Druid, it's janky, it's going to be fun, it's going to be awesome. Especially if you're playing the stuff to fetch out of the bottom of your deck. It's going to be a fun time. And he's a 6 mana, 4/7 taunt. So, it avoids priests, 3 or less attack, 5 or more attack, shenanigans, and it's a taunt minion. Good times. Lady Azara, Fabled. Empower 1 Jin'Dizari or 1 Will of Eternity. It's a good card. I would say it's below awesome. You're going to need a lot of support around it. Meaning you're going to want to have minions that you can double the... you're going to want to have minions you can copy that are good. You're going to want to have something to do with the Well of Eternity as well. So you're going to want to have some support for this card. It could come up here, but it's kind of in the borderlands. I think he's a better card than her. Logosh Bloodfighter, I think for every standard warrior post-rotation is going to be here or here. Like, it's going to slot almost into Quest Warrior every time. Post-rotation. Pre-rotation, maybe not. Post-rotation, absolutely. 100%. Guaranteed. Medivh the Hallowed. There's not a whole lot of spells yet that do direct damage. You have Void Shard. This would do 8 damage with Void Shard. That's 4 mana. Priest doesn't have a whole lot of damaging spells right now that go face. Unless they rotate in Mind Blast, he's here. Post-rotation, if they rotate in Mind Blast, like he's in this area. Let's say he's B rank, because it requires a lot of steps to get through. I mean, it requires turn 10, and then it requires having other pieces to the puzzle. So, They nerfed Mr. Clocksworth. I'm pretty sure it says 2 rewinds now. It might still be 3, but anyway. He's catastrophic. I've played with him. I've tried him. He works really well with Shaman. It's kind of gimmicky. But on average, your legendary minions, as you can see from the stat lines, aren't that good. You won't be able to get yourself a Broxigar or anything like that. So he's not all that good. He's okay. Muradin High King. There you go. You don't have to worry about it. Muradin High King is absolutely crazy. It gives you the Death Rattle weapon that's just... You're going to want to slot that in every Shaman deck, period, end of story. Murozond Unbounded. Now, here's where I'm going to have this right there. Boom. This is where everybody's going to disagree with me. There is one deck that is going to be awesome in. Everything else is going to be trash. Warrior. Quest Warrior. Murozond Unbounded. You're running Ysera. Okay? You're running Quest Warrior. You're running Ysera. You're running Murozond Unbounded. Those 3 cards guaranteed. You put in the rest of the control stuff. You survive your 10 turns. You survive more than that. You play Latorvius. Okay? You get Time Warp. Play Murozond Unbounded. Time Warp. Oh, wait. Start of your next turn, because of Time Warp, he's now infinity damage. You clear any taunts in your way, punch him in the dome for infinity damage. Doesn't matter how high your life is. Doesn't matter if you've got Husk Eternal Reaper. This right here into Quest Warrior, mind-blowing. The first person that pulls this off, it sounds gimmicky, right? But eventually Quest Warrior will get to Time Warp. So you just hold this in your hand. You'll hold this in your hand till you get to Time Warp. You then play him, play Time Warp, you win. Guaranteed, you win the game. Because the opponent can't do anything because there's no turn in between. They're not going to bring back Ice Block. The opponent can't cast the Outcast card and make him immune. And it would only be immune for 1 turn. And then on the second turn, bang, he's dead. I'm telling you, Husk Eternal Reaper won't matter because you're hitting for infinite. So, yeah, it's going to be a good card. And it's going to be in Warrior. And it's going to be in Quest Warrior for the next 2 years. So be prepared to see it, and be prepared to see a lot of it. It's coming. Ranger General Sylvanas. I think it's an abysmal card. I honestly think it would be down here. But here. I'm going to set it to there. Because you're going to see it, but I don't think it's going to have the efficacy that everyone thinks it will. And the reason I think so is because it requires 9 mana to pull off the whole thing. You want this to be the last card you play. But you have to play Valeria and Verisa. So you have to jump through 2 extra hoops in order to get the maximum effect out of her. It's kind of like... what was the name of that? He was the Mage Titan. Norganon. It's kind of like Norganon. You play Norganon. Enemy spells cost more next turn. Okay. Summon 2 secrets. Okay. Chances are he's already dead. So you play Norganon, you do the 5... Norganon got deleted every time. This has the same feel. Except replace Norganon with your Hunter's Face. It will just get deleted before you can get a chance to play Sylvanas. You'll play Verisa, you'll play the other one, and then all of a sudden, Sylvanas doesn't even hit the board, and you're done. Unless you have a way to fetch them, no. Talanji of the Graves. I think people treated this card unfairly. I think in DK, it's going to be an amazing card. Because you draw Bwonsamdi, or resurrect him if he died. So let's say you get Bwonsamdi in hand, right? You play his... You wait to get those cards that say his boons, right? You play Bwonsamdi, you get a boon. Once you play Bwonsamdi and you get a boon, he dies, play her, resurrect him. Okay. Because he has a death rattle, he summons minions. Endbringer Umbra. You've already had Bwonsamdi die twice now. So now you get a board full of minions. Again, no runic requirement. You can slot it into Blood Death Knight anytime. Between this and this, you can slot them both into Blood DK. Replace Kill Jaden and something else. This will help you with fatigue, and this will help you with keeping board control. That way you can get rid of Corpse Explosion and have enough room, have enough corpses for this, and you can have enough. You could probably run one corpse explosion, and then run the other poison breath and the other one for this. So yeah, good card, but I think people have been underrating it for a lot. Get a demon that costs 5 or more. If your deck has no minions, your next one costs 0. I think this card is going to be in this area. Awesome to below awesome. Because again, if you're running a deck with demons, if you're running a demon hunter with demons, it's fine. You're going to want to slot it into a deck just for value, right? You're going to discover a 5 mana demon or higher. Boom. That's a great slot it in for value. It costs nothing if you have no minions. Okay, if you're running no minion Demon Hunter, it can kind of go higher. The question is how are you going to pull off no minion in Demon Hunter? Unless they're rotating back in cards like Fan the Hammer. I had a spell Demon Hunter at the tail end of... what's it called? Showdown in the Badlands. I had a spell Demon Hunter that was actually on... it was actually... crazy. It was an on-fire Demon Hunter deck. It was wonderful. Fins Beyond Time. No question about it. You're going to want to put it in every single Paladin deck. You replace your starting hand, swap it back at the end of turn. This is literally the rogue card. Secret Passage. That's what that is. Except replace, you don't replace it with the next 4 cards or whatever in your deck. You just replace it with your opening hand. So if you have a good opening hand and you have him in your deck, so you have your opening hand. Or, better yet, you ready for this one? Nobody's talking about it. Infinite Loop. Let's say he's in your opening hand. Turn 10 rolls around. You drop him for 2. Oh, you get him in your opening hand. You play the other cards. You drop him for 2. Oh, you get another copy of him in your opening hand. Oh, you play your other cards. You drop him for 2. Especially if your other cards cost really cheap. If nothing else, you can summon 5 3/2s on turn 10. That are Murlocs, which means if you're running Galaka Depths and you get him in your opening hand, you're getting a lot of Murlocs in your opening hand. So he's a great card. He's going to get slotted into every Paladin deck, just like Gawain of Tomorrow will probably get slotted into every Paladin deck. Time Admiral Hooktail. Until rotation, I think this card's going to be here. Because why would you want an entire thing full of coins? The only thing this is going to do is screw with somebody's Endbringer Umbra. Because the chest is a minion. And then it would just give you more coins. Unless they're going to rotate Wishing Well, this card's going to sit right here. It could go down here. Because it's just not good. Just isn't. Time Looper Toki, I think, is below awesome. Because if you can jump through the hoops of her... and you get the 4 random spells, then you get her again, you get the 4 random spells, rinse, repeat. That's a lot of spell value. And you could just sit there and keep doing it. Because you just keep getting more copies of her. So, it's infinite spell value. Time Lord Nozdormu. 3 mana, 8/8, dormant for 5 turns. Rush after you play a card from the newest expansion, awaken 1 turn sooner. I think because, yeah, he's a 3 mana, 8/8, dormant. There went my camera again. He's dormant for 5 turns, so, yeah, it's, at the very least, you're getting him on, turn 6. Because you figured, you play him on 3, even if you play him on 4. Wait a minute. Yeah, right around there. Him in the new Shaman deck. With all the nature spells, you play him on 3. There's a whole bunch of Shaman spells that are 0 cost. Just drop a whole bunch of 0 cost spells. They're all from the newest expansion. Shaman gets 2 0 cost spells from the newest expansion, but you have to target your own minion for it. So you play a minion on 2, you play him on 3, or you coin him, play him on 2, play your new minion on 3, which is a new card which brings him out 1 turn sooner. So now that's 1 turn, that's 2 turns. Then you play your 2 0 mana cards, that's 3, 4, you get him on turn 5, turn 4. 8 mana, or 4 mana, 3 mana, 8/8 that you got on 4 because you played it on 2 with the coin. And it has Rush. It's an awfully quick minion. So it's pretty decent. It's in that borderland, but for Shaman, he would be right about there. And then we get to Rafaam. I think Rafaam is really good. I think Rafam is going to be amazing post-rotation. I think Rafam post-rotation is going to end up here. And there's a reason why. Your deck size is 40. Yeah, your life's not 40, but they're going to be slowing the game down. Rafam doesn't care that Husk Eternal Reaper exists. Just doesn't care. Because it's destroyed the enemy hero. That's just a win con. You run a long con Rafam Ysera deck. For 2 years, this thing is going to be an absolute menace. I can almost guarantee it will. So I say it's here for now. Post-rotation, it may creep up to here. So that's what I think. But that is my tier list. I think there's a couple cards that can end up down here in the failure, but I think they're average cards. I think people would be pretty happy playing these cards. I think some of them have very specific decks they can slot into. I think some are going to wait until they have support from rotation. I think you're going to see a lot of these cards shuffle and jockey for position in rotation. But all in, I think you're looking at a fairly decent expansion. Now, all the cards in general, I think you've got a lot of really good cards that are coming in across the timeways. I think with the slowdown post rotation, it's going to be even better. Unless Blizzard absolutely just screws the pooch on this one, the next year is looking to be one of the better years in Hearthstone. Just because of the rewind mechanic, the fun OTK mechanics are coming back, little gimmicky things are coming back. This looks to be a really fun year of Hearthstone coming up. The only thing that's going to suck in the next year of Hearthstone is Murloc Paladin will exist for the first half of the next year until the new Paladin gimmick comes in, which is probably going to be like Mech Paladin or Hand Buff Paladin, though I will admit Hand Buff Paladin was fun. Mech Paladin will probably come back, something along those lines. I'm hoping Bomb Warrior makes a comeback because Bomb Warrior was loads of fun, and with Quest Warrior with bombs in it, it's just Bomb Fatigue Warrior at that point. It's just hilarious. But I can't wait for rotation because it's really going to change this. It's really going to mix it up. This is coming out in November. This whole set. These are just the legendaries. I will be opening like 60 packs. Because I've earned over 4,000 gold, 5,000 gold. I think I've earned over 5,000 gold. And so I will be opening 50 packs that way, and then I'll be opening another 10. So I'll be opening like 60 packs, one of which is a golden pack. And I'll probably open that one first, just to get it out of the way. But we're going to see. And I'm gonna keep whatever legendary I get, I'm going to keep. And knowing my luck, it'll probably be Eternus. Because I always get the worst legendary in the game that ends up being the best legendary before cycle. Because last rotation, I got Reska the Death Knight. Reska the Pit Boss. And I didn't like her. And I disenchanted her. And she ended up being the best card in the set. And I did not care for her at all. Was not the legendary I was aiming for. But that's what it is. At any rate, I hope you enjoyed this video, and tell me what you think about the card, about the tier list, and what you think about the other cards. There's a lot of good cards in that set coming up, and I hope everybody enjoyed this video, because I know I did, and I hope everybody has a fantastic evening, a wonderful tomorrow, and as always, have a good one.